Hello students, welcome to Notebook. In the chapter Challenges to Nation Building, we discussed the threats to the territorial integrity and national unity. These are matters that cannot be solved categorically or at once. Often, these challenges manifest in different forms with the passage of time. As you learned, the Janata Dal experiment ended in failure in the late 70s. What followed was a period of political turmoil. The 1980s will be remembered as a decade of conflicts arising out of regional aspirations, especially in Assam, Mizoram, Punjab, and Jammu and Kashmir. In this video lesson and its subsequent parts, we will analyze the factors contributing to regional tensions and the nation's response to them. We will also learn about the difficult task of balancing democratic rights and national unity in the face of cultural and linguistic diversity. Movements in the 80s often involved armed conflicts and the disintegration of electoral and political processes. These conflicts usually ended in accords between the government and groups demanding autonomy after long-drawn negotiations. These negotiated settlements took recourse to the constitutional framework and worked to establish peace. Let us now discuss them in detail. The Indian Constitution ensures that people of different regions have the right to retain their linguistic, cultural, and regional identities. However, living a united social life while respecting cultural differences is not always easy. Democratic nations try to incorporate the politics of regional aspirations without labeling them anti-national. A democracy is also expected to accommodate regional politics at the time of policy making. However, reality often falls short of this expectation. This arrangement is not always successful as national unity comes at the cost of regional suppression. Sometimes, though, regional concerns blind us to the cause of national unity. We will now discuss briefly what were the leading factors giving rise to areas of conflict. You learned earlier that the pangs of partition, displacement, and the reorganization of princely states were some of the major problems faced by independent India. The issue of Jammu and Kashmir came up in the year 1947 itself, which was a manifestation of the people's political aspirations in the Kashmir Valley. Similarly, the states of Nagaland and Mizoram witnessed strong separatist movements, as did other states of the Northeast. The Dravidian movement was one such secessionist movement. Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat were part of movements demanding separate linguistic states. The South, specifically Tamil Nadu, witnessed anti-Hindi movements, while the North carried out pro-Hindi agitations demanding Hindi be made the official language of the nation. Among the linguistic states that were formed after the 1960s are Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh. We will study the conflicts of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, and the Northeast in detail. Let us begin with Jammu and Kashmir. Though the Kashmir issue is primarily seen as armed political conflict between India and Pakistan, the state's problems have multiple dimensions. These include the issue of Kashmiri identity or Kashmiriyat and the demand for political autonomy. Loss of life, livelihood, and displacement of families are only some of the casualties borne by the people of the valley. Jammu and Kashmir consist of three socio-political areas: the Kashmir Valley with its Kashmiri-speaking Muslims and Hindu minority, the foothills and plains of Jammu comprising Hindu, Sikh, and Muslim communities, and Ladakh, a mountainous region divided between Buddhist and Muslim communities. Before 1947, Jammu and Kashmir was a princely state. The ruler, Hari Singh, did not want to accede to India and wanted to uphold an independent status for the state. Pakistani leaders believed that Kashmir belonged to them as the majority population was Muslim. Sheikh Abdullah led the popular movement of the National Conference, a secular organization which demanded to be rid of the Maharaja. However, they did not want to join Pakistan either. The National Conference also had a long association with the Indian National Congress. In October 1947, tribal infiltrators of Pakistan tried to capture Kashmir. The Maharaja requested Indian help to drive these infiltrators back. India provided military aid, though only after the Maharaja acquiesced to the instrument of accession with the Indian government. After the situation was addressed, it was decided that the will of the Kashmiri people would be ascertained. In 1948, Sheikh Abdullah took over as the Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, as the head of government in the state was called. India agreed to honor Jammu and Kashmir's autonomous position. Since then, Kashmir has been both conflict-ridden and controversial. After the tribal invasion of the Kashmir Valley, led by Pakistan, a part of the state remains under Pakistani control. India labels this as illegal occupation, while Pakistan calls this Azad Kashmir. Kashmir was accorded a special status by Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. This provided Kashmir with special provisions, including its own constitution. Laws passed by the Parliament applied to Jammu and Kashmir only if the state agreed. The Kashmiris believed that the special privileges accorded by Article 370 were not enough. The accession of Kashmir, according to the people's will after the tribal invasion, was never realized. A plebiscite has been often demanded for the same reason. In addition, the special federal status accorded by Article 370 has not been realized either. This has led to demands for greater state autonomy. And finally, the Kashmiris feel that democracy has not been implemented in the state as it has been in the rest of India. However, Article 370 has been revoked as of August 2019. This has led to widespread protests and demonstrations in Jammu and Kashmir as well as the rest of India, including the resignation of an IAS officer. State response included the imposition of Section 144 over Jammu and Kashmir and suspension of internet and network connectivity amid national and international criticism. The state has often been subject to severe human rights violations. However, some people felt that Article 370 prevented Jammu and Kashmir from integrating with India. The Dravidian movement of India was one of the first movements articulating regional aspirations. It aspired to create a Dravida nation separated from North India. However, this movement did not resort to armed insurgency. Led by Dravida Kazhagam or DK, under the leadership of E.V. Ramasamy Periyar, it resorted to public debates and electoral politics to achieve its end. The movement was opposed to Brahmin hegemony and asserted regional pride in the face of cultural and political domination of North India. However, lacking support from other states, the movement was restricted to Tamil Nadu. The organization DK split, and the legacy of the movement was carried forward by the Dravida Munnethra Kazhagam. The DMK entered politics in the year 1953. The DMK demanded that the Dalmiapuram railway station be renamed to its original Kalakudi railway station. The other demand was that Tamil cultural history should have more attention in the school curricula. Agitations were also led against the state education system and its links with the Brahmanical social outlook. The organization also protested against the imposition of Hindi as the national language. Since then, Dravidian parties have kept alive the issues of Tamil pride and dominated Tamil politics. MDMK, DMDK, and PMK are some of the parties which came up in the 1990s. Regional politics of Tamil Nadu have often maintained a balance between regionalism and nationalism. With that, students, we come to the end of this video lesson. See you soon in the next part of this lesson.